Alright, so what we're going to do is take background out. This is something that we have to do quite often. You see all that crud on the screen? We want to get it out and we want to replace it with our own background. The best tool that you can possibly use in Photoshop is the pen tool. It takes a while to get used to, but once you learn the pen tool, you can do amazing things. So here's how you do it. You click on the pen tool and then you verify what type of path you're going to make. When you're working with the pen tool, it's always called a path. There's tons and tons of different types of paths. To do what we're trying to do, we want to be on the actual path button that you're seeing right there. The pen tool works like this. If you want a sharp point, you click. If you want a curve, you click and hold. When you click and hold, it gives you these directional arms. So the first point, you just click. The second point, you click and hold. And you see how those direction arms come out? And you see the way the path moves. You position it the way you want. You don't have to be too fussy. And then you take the next point down. Don't click on the direction arm. That's a big mistake that people make. You click further down, and when you click and hold, you'll pull the next set of direction arms out. And you continue on all the way around what you are trying to select. Clicking, clicking and pulling. And I'm going to go through this really, really quick for you. I've sped up the video. I finally figured out how to do that, so you wouldn't have to sit and watch a half an hour of me making a path. You can't actually really go this fast with any degree of accuracy, but you can go pretty quick. The thing that you want to watch when you finish the path, when you come to the last, see that little circle? That completes your path. What you want to do next is look around for any other places, like this little corner here, where there needs to be another path. Once you've finished creating your curve, you need to edit it. There's two main tools that you use to do this. The Direct Select tool and the Convert Point tool. The Direct Select tool allows you to select the whole path, just kind of like it sounds. You do that by clicking on it. The Direct Select also allows you, aside from just picking the path, it also allows you to see all of the nodes and all of the curves and move them. If I take a flat point and move it, or if I click onto a curve, that would be where you clicked and dragged. Unfortunately, what happens is when you move one of the direction arms, both of them move, kind of like a seesaw. That's where the other tool comes in. When you need more control, you want to use one arm, not the other. You switch over to your Convert Point tool. The Convert Point tool allows you more control because it lets you pick one side of that little seesaw or the other. It also does another thing. It changes a curve to a point or a point to a curve. So if you wanted to pick up this node that I'm pointing at, if you wanted to pick it up and move it, you would hold your control key, because what that's going to do is it's going to allow you temporary access to your Direct Select arrow. Instead of just changing anything, it just lets you use that arrow, and then when you let go of the control, you're back to your Convert Point tool. In this step, we're going to take the work path that we were working with, that we created, holding the control key and clicking onto that work path on the palette to create a selection that we can use a layer mask on to make a transparency. To make the transparency, we have to go over to the layer palette. But you can see that the layer mask is unavailable, and that's because the background layer is locked. To unlock it, double click it, and you're going to get this message box come up. You can leave it layer 0 or you can rename it, whichever you want. That unlocks it. Then all we have to do is click on that Add Layer Mask button, and voila, we have a transparency. Unfortunately, it's not the one that we want. You undo Control-Alt-Z, and you inverse the selection, basically turning it inside out on itself. And you put your layer mask back on. That's it. We need to add a new layer, so we're going to hold the Control key and click on the New Layer button. Holding the Control key puts the layer below the one that you're on. Then we're going to fill it with a color. We can use the foreground patch or we can use the background patch. The foreground right now is black. If we hit Alt backspace, it fills that new layer with the color that we wanted in the foreground patch. If we wanted to use the background patch, Control backspace. That kind of shows all the grunge that I've got left because I really did hurry through this. So I'm going to switch it back to black. Alt backspace. That's all there is to it now. On to the fun part.